Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it. The turkey steamed in the center of the table, golden and glistening under crystal chandeliers. Laughter fluttered through the air like confetti, fake and far too loud. I sat at the end of the table, the outsider in a room of grinning wolves wearing holiday sweaters. Lily, my wife of 12 years, stood, her wine glass trembling only slightly in her manicured fingers. Before dessert, she said, smiling at me with lips, not eyes, I have something special. She reached under her chair and pulled out a red envelope, thick, sealed, formal. She slid it across the line and toward me. Merry Christmas, Frankie. Her mother raised her glass, to new beginnings. Her brother clapped. Even Albert, her mother's much younger husband, smirked behind his champagne. I stared at the envelope. I already knew what was inside, but I played my part. I opened it slowly. Pages slid out, divorce papers, no prelude, no talk, just ink on betrayal. I didn't flinch. Instead, I looked at her, then her family, then back to the envelope. You remembered to get me something after all, I said softly. Lily blinked. Excuse me? I smiled faintly and gestured toward the tree. Your gift's under there. Silver box, your name on the tag. Confusion rippled across her face. She clearly didn't expect anything from me. She stood, walking cautiously to the tree, heels clicking on marble. Her hand hovered over the box like it might bite. Then she took it, returned to her seat. They say betrayal doesn't arrive all at once. It trickles in, quietly, like a draft through a window you swore was shut. It started one night in spring. I woke to the soft hum of Lily's voice. I thought she was dreaming. But the glow from under the bathroom door told me otherwise. I sat up, listened. Words in hushed tones. Laughter. Then silence when the door creaked. Late call from Clara, she said, sliding back into bed, eyes averted. She's going through a breakup. Clara had moved to Singapore 6 months ago. I didn't confront her. I filed it away. One event isn't proof. I'm a numbers man, pattern, not paranoia, but patterns began to form. Her phone, once always face up, now lived in her purse, locked tight. She started spending weekends with her mother, who never once mentioned those visits when I called to check in. Strange charges appeared on our joint card, boutique hotel stays, gifts from men's departments, restaurants we'd never dined at together. The one constant, Albert. Her mother's too young husband. His compliments grew bolder, his touch lingered longer. I saw Albert leave your mother's alone, I said casually one evening. She looked up from her phone. He probably forgot something. At midnight? She didn't answer, just smiled thinly and returned to texting. So I started tracking, quietly. I reviewed bank statements, traced locations. I cross-referenced her claimed visits with call logs and GPS data. Too often, her phone pinged near a hotel, not her mother's. Then came the day I followed her. I watched from across the street as she stepped into a boutique hotel. 30 minutes later, Albert arrived. They didn't even look over their shoulders. That night, I said nothing. I handed her a glass of wine, kissed her cheek. You've been tired lately. Everything okay? She smiled, slow and sweet. Just work. You know how it is. I nodded. Of course. I didn't need her confession. I already had the truth. But truth without proof is just accusation. And I was building something airtight, silent, steady, deadly. She thought I was blind, but I was listening, watching. And soon, I'd show her what happens when a man sees everything. I wasn't heartbroken, not anymore. Something colder had taken root. Precision replaced pain. The day after I confirmed the affair, I sat alone in my home office, lines drawn, the soft tick of the grandfather clock marking each calculated breath. I pulled the first folder toward me, our finances. Joint accounts, investment portfolios, property deeds, everything we once shared. She had access to too much, and she was sloppy. I started with the house. I transferred the deed quietly to my sister under the guise of estate planning. Weeks earlier, I had Lily sign the transfer documents, masked among routine tax filings. Just sign these, love, I'd said, handing her the folder as she painted her nails on the patio. She didn't even glance up. You always take care of that stuff. I smiled. Exactly. Next, I moved the bulk of our savings into a protected trust in my name alone, requiring biometric authentication. Irrevocable, shielded. The real fun began when I traced the money trail. The PI's photos gave me timestamps, and I aligned them with card transactions. Hotel suites, fine dining, expensive watches, some charged to our charity fund, the one her mother ran, the one Albert helped manage. Embezzlement. I gathered screenshots, transaction reports, surveillance footage, even deleted text recovered from cloud backups. The USB drive was filling up fast. I created backups, one with my attorney, one in a safe, one hidden in plain sight, in a gift-wrapped silver box. Days before Christmas, I asked her to sign one last document. This is just for the accountant. End-of-year adjustments, I said, handing her the paper over breakfast. She didn't even lift a brow. Fine. That signature stripped her of any claim to my firm. By then, the trap was fully set. I didn't yell, didn't accuse, just laid bricks quietly, building the walls around her future. She thought she had the upper hand, thought the red envelope on Christmas would break me. But my revenge wasn't rage, it was architecture. Carefully drafted, perfectly timed, and almost ready for unveiling. The room was quiet now, the kind of quiet that doesn't soothe. It stiffens the air, heavy with confusion. The cheer from moments ago had vanished, replaced by held breaths and darting glances. Lily sat, frozen, the silver box resting in her lap like a relic. Her mother leaned forward slightly, sensing the shift but unsure of its shape. Albert, across from me, swirled his wine too fast, his eyes locked on the box. Go on, I said gently. Open it. Lily hesitated. Frankie, what is this? Your Christmas present, I replied, folding my hands. You gave me one. It's only fair. Her fingers trembled slightly as she untied the silver ribbon. The lid lifted with a soft sigh of displaced air. At first, she only saw a stack of photos. Glossy, clear. She pulled the top one out, then another. Her expression didn't crack yet, but her grip tightened. The third photo showed her and Albert kissing in the glass elevator of the Fairmont, timestamp. A low gasp escaped her mother's throat. What is this? Lily hissed, voice razor thin. Evidence, I said calmly. Everything you've done, and have you funded it? Albert shot up from his chair. This is insane. He's making this up. I cut him off. Hotel receipts, bank transfers, stolen charity funds. Shall I go on? He stilled. Lily's mother grabbed a photo from the box. Her hand shook. Albert, is this real? Listen, I can explain, he stammered. You've embezzled from my charity, she spat. Cheated on me with my daughter? I trusted you, she whispered to Lily, stepping back like her daughter was a stranger. Lily looked around desperate. Frankie, please. I stood slowly, fixing my tie. No more pretending. You planned a public divorce reveal. I planned this. Lily's face collapsed, tears rising too late. You own nothing now. Check the documents. Everything is mine. Her mother's voice was ice. You are no longer my daughter. The box sat open, evidence spilling out like shattered ornaments. And for the first time that night, no one clapped. Lily dropped into the chair like a puppet with cut strings, eyes wide, face drained of color. Her fingers clutched the photos as if gripping denial could reverse time. You tricked me, she whispered. I stepped forward, voice calm. No, you underestimated me. Her lip trembled. But the house isn't yours, I interrupted. You signed it over during tax season. You remember, don't you? You also signed away your claim to my firm. She turned to her mother, pleading, Mom, please. But her mother only shook her head. You betrayed me. And with him, she glared at Albert, who was already inching toward the door. You'll both be hearing from my lawyer, she snapped. Albert, tomorrow I'm filing for divorce. You'll leave without a penny. Albert opened his mouth, but no sound came. His fall was just beginning. I adjusted my coat, glancing once more at the wreckage, shattered pride, exposed lies, a family imploding in real time. I'll be filing tomorrow, I said, turning toward the door. Adultery, embezzlement, ironclad. Lily sobbed, "You can't just leave like this." But I was already pulling on my gloves. "You handed me divorce papers on Christmas Day in front of your entire family. Now it's my turn." I opened the door. Cold air rushed in. Then I looked back just once and said, clear and quiet, "Merry Christmas." I stepped into the snow, the sting of winter biting my face. But inside, I felt nothing but warmth. Not revenge. Freedom. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.